is a quorum, so.
Okay, says you're live.
Okay, we are calling to order the meeting of July 11th.
Can I do a roll call?
Yeah, I lost my agenda, so.
I have another one for you if you want me to get
Okay,
one.
thank you.
Chairperson Andrews,
Here,
Committee Member Canfield, Committee Member Germer, Committee Member Kaufman.
Here.
Committee Member Salvatore.
Here.
Thank you.
what would you like to read in the pledge? Moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first we have approval of minutes. We have to do both April 11th and May 9th. I know that we did not pass April's because the motion was missing, so that's what we want to make sure that's in here, is the motion that Barb made. Okay, there it is. Nora, have you had a chance to see? Yeah.
I just saw briefly last month, I can't find them right now, but it was, I just saw the motion, the same motion was in.
It is in there now, yeah, that's what we were waiting to have to move forward. So would anyone like to make a motion to approve? It is in there on the back under B. To approve the minutes for May 9th, 2024.
Approve those minutes. I make a motion. Approve the
And
minutes
second?
from May 9th.
Are you approving them together or separate?
We're starting with May and then going to April. So May's been approved. Well, we've had we still need a second. Am I allowed to second?
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
And then a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 9th of 2024.
You just did that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Make a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Alrighty, public comments. Anybody?
Quiet.
Okay, new business. So we're looking to make a motion to discuss and vote on a movie and choose movie title and park. So we were able to communicate within Sunshine Rules, not as a group, but as individuals. And August 16th for Monsters University at Maple Park is what came out of that. I believe Heather has a receipt. I sent Heather the receipt for the movie already. It was already approved for the licensing. So we'll start with that. Would anyone like to approve movies in the park, August 16th, Monsters University?
I make a motion. Accept that. Did you accept that? I mean,
Okay, so Ms. Coffin, motion, Megan, second. All in favor? So we are currently voting on Maple movie in the park, August 16th, Monsters University.
Cool.
I'm sorry. Okay. So all in favor, are you as well?
Yeah.
aye.
And then that is a possible talk event this year. So, talk events don't seem too, like, you have to do a whole lot to get it together. I didn't know if anyone would want to try to get something like that going or put it off for another time because we are still really trying to find stuff between us as a unit. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
What is the talk event? Just
So
like
talk the walk. So we would set a day, maybe get, coolers, I forget, I think they had coolers and stuff last time. With drinks and things like that, and then they chalked, Locust Street Park, the one for him there. It doesn't necessarily have to be there, we could encourage it like on the sidewalk possibly, or in the parks that we have other areas. They chalked off the following day, so I don't know if they really, I'm not sure how to say that, but it came off the following day, so we would like it to be somewhere that may last a little longer than so is anyone thinking that might be something, even River Market, they have a lot of sidewalk space.
I was gonna say, I like the idea of being able to do a passive thing to represent Parks and Rec. If it doesn't take a lot of coordination, we do have a lot
Going on already.
Yeah, sort through.
Is that something that you would, talk about with your board, with crossings and stuff?
I could definitely seek out and see if there's any, reason why it couldn't happen.
Do you have a lot going on, like September, is so warm?
September is Pennsylvania Trails Month, so we could maybe join in on that. And that actually seems really realistic. There's kind of a lot going on, but we'll be making some time to do some public programming in relation to that, and I can talk and see if that's something we can do. But that seems realistic.
Any other suggestions for locations on that, or if we should wait?
So my idea was to, actually chalk the walk for downtown for the merchants.
I've been thinking that.
And not necessarily on a Fourth Friday, I mean, you've got adults walking up and down and that kind of thing, but maybe doing some type of an event. We could even be in the fall, maybe it's a little cooler, and then actually do a first, second place prizes.
The Halloween parade this year's theme is food, which really aligns with the Merchants Association. Maybe at least they could leave it a little bit longer until the rain, I don't know. Because it's outside of a park, but the restrictions or limitations are on that seems really fun.
Yeah. I know that we would need to have some permission from the merchants.
Right.
And it seems like they're okay. I talked to the Merchants Association, and we're okay with, they bring it to their board, if we decided we wanted to go that route. But I was thinking more in the fall, September, October, what we're talking about. It's a little hot to be out there on the sidewalk. And coming up with a themed type of sidewalk that maybe indicates something they love about Columbia. And having first and second, third, and having individuals in town choosing citizens to vote in this. Can't have the merchants do it in front of their stores. They might
Voting for the one in front of me.
That's right, that's right. So it
So
would be
it's-
neat to get them involved.
It's sidewalk
Teachers
art-
maybe,
art.
even teachers voting would be kind of cool.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah.
I love that Columbia's cute.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So fall, so September, October, which is
Yeah,
there?
I think, well, September, you have a lot going on down at River.
October is actually sort of even cooler until about the end of the month, but then the weather could be a little shaky. With the Alpha Twitch and then canoe mobile field trips for fifth graders.
Okay.
The first 2 weeks.
Let me see what they have going on.
So are we talking about doing it downtown, like for merchants, or are we doing And in addition
We're
to
just
the
kind of
river park?
talking, yeah, we're just kind of.
Yeah, like all over?
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe it could be an event at River, or it could be, Locust, or wherever, we're just kind
So September for the merchants, they don't really have a major event. It's like a sip and shop bash type of thing for Fourth Friday. There's nothing other going on. They usually do like that wines.
So people are out and about walking.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But we probably have to get it started earlier in the day.
of, even the day before.
Yes,
Yeah.
evening before, have your sidewalk, rain, done, like your block, whatever they choose. And I wouldn't exclude it to children. I'd let anybody do it, because you could really get some great little entries. We've got a lot of artists in this town, and kids are just gonna really love them as well. And then the teachers,
And then you could judge on Fourth
Yeah.
Friday during that event.
yeah, you could dig, yeah, we could do
Yeah,
a
they
judging.
have like a radio or something sometimes.
Yeah, they said they would work with us. We just need to let them know. And we could kind of correlate, 'cause they really don't have anything going on with that.
I think they're gonna be-
So we're talking September for, the Fourth Friday, having it done that Thursday night. So they'll advertise too, from what I'm told.
Are you part of the Merchants Association?
I am not, no, I just called
Mhm.
them, yeah, I called Daisy, and Daisy had me call Michelle McFarland, the coordinator of Fourth Friday.
Mhm.
And so I called her and said, do you have any events planned for the rest of the year? Like, what is it? How do we get involved in that as a community? Like, whether we put up a table on those days and hand out frisbees, chalk the walk just to be in it. Like, we don't really need their permission to do that. We just set up our table in front of the borough. Really doesn't matter. But I thought if we knew what they were doing, because I don't see like all their events posted for the rest of the year. That was my problem, and I needed to find out what that was.
Mhm.
So, at this point, she said September, because August is, the end of summer bash. The Fourth Friday summer bash, like a pretty big with carnival, like, yeah, popcorn and stuff like that. Summer in the Streets is July. And then obviously September is it's the one,
The one that-
so it's good time,
I think so.
right? Because we're doing the movie in August,
Right.
which is the going back to school thing.
Yep.
And then we can do this as a roundup.
I have a follow-up for the back to school thing. I guess Kurt and St. Paul's are involved in throwing on the 17th at Maple a back to school thing.
Yeah,
So
a
even
lot of
though-
people are.
Right, so even though, like, we wouldn't have to maybe worry about the backpacks on our night, but we could get support maybe for them if we have that on our own. But I think that's a good follow-up for a weekend, like, the whole event in the location, so.
Yeah, I know that the Lions Club's doing it. I want to say there's another church that's part of that. There's a lot doing backpacks
Oh, yeah, many people
now.
get involved in it.
So it gets different places doing it. So, our having our movie will end that off really nice for them. So
We should have things to tell them to come back the next day before the backpack, to hand out at the movie.
you mean like announcing the backpack?
Like a flyer, come back tomorrow to Maple Park at this time to get your backpack.
We could try to recruit some of that group to come back.
Into the next, in case they didn't hear about it.
The 18th is the movie night,
16th.
16th.
And it's at Maple, you said.
Yes.
So are we going to also be, at the movie night, are we going to be requesting back to school supplies?
No,
Collecting
this is just gonna be hosting, if we're able to, I have one person who has some like yard equipment they're gonna bring out. The Dream Center has like a popcorn, maybe a snow cone, it depends on how many volunteers I can get to. run all of that.
Yeah.
If you guys have additional resources, maybe rock painting or face painting, I know Create Columbia, might be able to get involved. I know the Girl Scouts troop was considering volunteering during the movies in the night.
Okay.
So anything that we may have to bring together to kind of make it happen. Not necessarily looking for resources as far as the school supplies. That's gonna be the following day with, a few, she was mentioning a few churches, I know Cart's part of it, Lions Club, is the night after our event. And then, so do we have a date, what is Fourth Friday, so would we want to do that
It's the
Thursday?
27th.
The 27th, so the 26th would be maybe the 12th. And then do we know who's all involved in the SIPN, what is it, SIPN?
It's the Merchants Association, it's their,
And then like what businesses, like?
no,
Okay,
I wouldn't know that until I spoke with you, Michelle McFarland would know. Who's all involved,
Yeah.
they do chocolate, and somebody chooses a certain wine, and then that's in every location, same as like the chocolate, and it's all gonna be like merchant.
so if we got like a layout of where it would be, we would know, we could say chalk in these areas.
Yeah.
Between this area and that area.
Yeah, they usually put out a little flyer thing or something on Facebook of all the ones who are participating and what you get when you go in there. But it's not completely fully planned out just quite yet. So that's why I don't have enough information right now.
Yeah, they like just sent around the flyer for
For
July's
July.
event because the businesses kind of come in last minute sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
So the 27th, so we
Yes.
could do it on the 26th.
Chocolate walk will be the 28th, the 26th. We'll have to say, hey, you're chocolate and walk. Has to be done by 8, it's still daylight. 8
That's
at night.
reasonable, 8 p.m.
Yeah, because it might be too hot during the day. So I would say by 8 p.m. it has to be out. And it might be good for one of us, I mean, we can plan this a little bit better, we have September. But we go out and take pictures of those in case it does rain. But maybe the judges can come out then that Friday and look at them or that night. I don't know if they're all
So
gonna.
like an 8 p.m. photo finish with
Yeah.
the judging the next day.
Will it be dark? I'm hoping not, because it's not dark at 8 now. Right? September it might.
But if we're inviting adults to come in, if they're really dedicated, it's just a little bit extra time.
see, that they will see and.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have to really think
Maybe we
about
should
when
ask them
daylight.
to take a photo of it too and then submit it somewhere, like after they're done, submit it in, so then we know who we're.
If we realistically have a social media page by then, they could submit it like that.
Yeah, I saw something was included in our package. I didn't see that. We just wanted-
So we have lots more planning to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I guess no time.
For now, maybe we should vote that, you're able to reach out to merchants to kind of coordinate this in the meantime. I think that's, okay. So, may I have a motion to vote that Ms. Kaufman may reach out to Merchants Association to, discuss Chalk at the Walk events, where they could be and what that could turn into. Motion from Megan, do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, next year's holidays and making efforts to plan ahead. So this is an effort to not feel like we're kind of pulling straws. I know that Columbia is planning to be involved in 4th of July fireworks, for example. I don't mean to skip over all the holidays, but that's just what's poking out right now. So does River Park have any intentions to put on a thing?
So we've been getting a lot of pressure this year about that. It was kind of last minute. We weren't able to pull it off. The week before is a big lift of Riverfest.
Okay.
I was really thinking in some of the preliminary talks I had with some people about it, that it could be a really fun thing that Parks and Rec picks up. It takes a little bit of the lift off of SNHA coming out of Riverfest weekend.
Yeah.
But we can still absolutely offer support, keep the building open, maybe do some programming as well.
Do we know, so this is the other part, sometimes things kind of clash, like they really want to boost up the business of town, but what about food trucks in the space during an event like this? Same thing, activity tables, maybe rafting, baking, all those types of things can carry from event to event.
Are we talking about 4th of July fireworks next year? Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing this year, it is way too soon.
Well, yeah,
Well, it's actually over.
2020, yeah, 2025. Yeah, my opinion is that it is the Park and Rec's responsibility for fireworks to propose that to our council to participate and organize that in our borough with Wrightsville. I know they want us to do it together, and I think that's a great idea, but
I believe that Columbia Borough is now going to, they
Yeah.
this year had fund.
Correct, fireworks, they're
Yeah.
gonna pay towards
They're
some
gonna-
fireworks.
Oh, that's already budgeted?
I wanted to do that. So as far as what you're saying, like food trucks, whatever, I don't know about anyone else, but if you're standing at the top of Rotary Park and you can see out over that river and those fireworks, you can see them.
Oh,
And there's
absolutely.
plenty of parking, and that particular hill reminds me so much of Long's Park. When they used to have their fireworks, you'd go in the morning at 7 a.m., get your spot, lay your blanket out, get your picnic bench. That's what that spot reminds me of. And you could lay out your blanket, and everything else is down and out and around. You just block off Rotary from any cars coming up or down, but use that as your venue and still have we were down that night of fireworks, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
one of our stipulations was this, and I was actually there last year on Leisure.
Yeah.
I watched the fireworks myself, and the things that happen in the park are kind of wild. I think part of the thought is if we did something down there, that it would simmer it down. Parking's a huge issue.
Right.
I do love your mention of Rotary Park. That's where we always launched them, and a lot of the community members still line the bridge
They do, we saw them
to
this
see them
year.
that way. And I think we'll find that people from Wrightsville may be traveling to Columbia to see them because of the viewpoint.
Yeah.
I did see some feedback, just kind of online, that they were harder to see than expected.
Yeah.
From Wrightsville side where they're firing them.
Yeah, when we came down to it, which we were a bit late getting down, because we went to Eric's parents to see them, but we couldn't see them up over the treetops. They had grown so much.
Needed a better spot.
You needed a better spot, even though we were pretty high. We got down to you guys on Front Street, and honestly, there were people standing on the railroad track.
I would
I
love
couldn't
to
believe that.
have some like fire department parking support or even
Yeah.
volunteer base. I mean,
Yeah,
if we
it
could-
has to be safe.
it's such a misuse
Yeah.
of the park during those days. I would love to see that be a lot more structured.
I would love to have it like an event during the day, like when you went to Long's Park, you made it your day, you spent it there, you brought your, obviously you can't do grills or whatever, but we used to bring you made soup, kept it in a hot box, brought it, had soup, sandwiches, fruit,
Yeah.
and just listened to some music until the fireworks started. Why can't you do that at Rotary? You know, it's a perfect, nice little
I
hill.
think for as many people that come, both parts could actually be involved.
That's what you need, that overlap. And you've got great parking underneath the bridge, over,
So
I went to the high school to watch it.
That was
you can see Mountville, you can
You
see.
can see so many.
Is that a good view?
Yeah,
vantage
it is amazing.
Yeah,
You
it
can see
was
Mountville,
really
so
neat
many,
to
not
see
even
all
just
St.
ours. You can see
Louis.
the whole way
Very-
across.
yeah,
the
Good to see
Mountain.
Mark, to see
Yeah.
him over in Sam Lewis from Mount Pisgah. It's wonderful. You can see
Everybody.
Hmm.
So I think if we utilize that, and I'd like to see that Rotary have more of activity and maybe perhaps eventually look at it, it's movie night, at the bottom of the movie, and you still have a truck, food truck.
I feel like the same way they stretch
Sure.
the food trucks out for the parade. They
Yeah.
have it like way down here and then up there and
Yeah.
all the way up there. Why not the same thing, but
I almost love the idea of lining the bottom of the baseball hill there in the grass with
With the
food trucks and
trucks,
letting that be a food station.
Yeah.
there's a
I love
whole
that.
alley down there for the whole.
And maybe even, we could get.
Or you know how you
music,
could
or-
block the park road, is block it with food trucks.
Yeah, you could block one end from Walnut and the other.
The only kind of issue is making sure that people don't drive the wrong way down Commerce Road there.
Which ones, that's where we.
So when you come up the bridge and you come out,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that one scares me sometimes.
It
I see
did us
happen.
too when we were down.
Confusion.
It is, it's not, and if you're not from there, and it's nighttime, you just don't know where you're going. But I think if we organize this well, if we're out a year, and we organize it well enough, this could be the beginning of something really wonderful.
I would
It's always
love
gonna need tweaking.
Parks and Rec to spearhead that and provides, just a really good event. I feel like Columbia's always wanted something to do with the fireworks, and it's been a long time since we've.
Guy Culver's was always a good spot.
And even when they tried to pick it back up, what was that at Vigi's?
Yeah,
few
did you see that for a
years?
year, couple years? Yeah, a few years.
So,
That's fine.
When you say Parks and Rec spearhead that, does that mean that this committee would be key to coordinating with other entities like the police department?
Planning
As far as,
it with the permission of.
as
Right,
far as
we
securing
start with-
volunteers, lining up the entertainment, if there's gonna be like music or food trucks or whatever it is that we want it to be,
Yeah.
that would be on us.
Yeah,
So
we
we would make a proposal to council
Right.
that says, this is what we would like to do.
Mhm.
The same way we had, like with Norge doing town square and stuff, the
Okay.
same way, this is our plan, and they would say yes or no to such things, and then we take it on if they say yes.
Now, is this an effort in collaboration with Wrightsville or is this Columbia?
The only collaboration is that they're both supporting finances towards the fireworks. The rest is they throw something on their side of the
Yeah.
river, and then we're
Parks
responsible for it.
respectively,
Yeah.
provide for the communities.
Yeah, I like the tie-in of Rotary and River.
Do you have a figure in mind, with number?
As far as monetary,
Yeah.
That, the borough's already done that, we don't know what that is that's going to the fireworks yet.
As
That
far
is
as-
Parks and Rec wasn't involved with that.
Right,
decision.
no,
Yeah,
that
I'm saying
wasn't.
if you're creating a new event, or you're trying to make it bigger than it was before, if you have a budget, I was just saying, you need to have a budget.
Oh, yeah,
To
yeah.
be able to submit that, have a number that they have to figure if they can put into the budget
yeah.
going forward. And they spent $8,000 this year, is what you contributed for that year. For the fireworks, which is a lot of money.
When do they do the budget review?
Yeah.
Budget starts probably September. They're supposed to have it in July, but we cancel it.
That's what I mean, it's underway.
Yeah, so, we would have to sort of accurately estimate what, based on what it is that we're proposing, the cost part aspect.
I think we need to outline the event a little more about what we would love to have, what that would cost, and then we
Versus our budget.
roll- Yeah, roll back.
Because this is the
from there.
first year, when you bring in food trucks, you're not paying them to do that.
Yeah, and
It's giving them a space and giving our citizens
sometimes you
something.
can even ask for a donation based off of food sales.
Yeah.
We've done that a lot because they're not having to purchase a permit.
to do it.
And then everybody wins, because if they don't do great, then.
Yeah.
You just have to be upfront in the invitation and communication.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that we could do to
It's
really,
low cost.
there's, can be like kids decorating their bikes and having a bike parade,
I love that.
there could be things
Since
like
we have a
that.
bicycling shops down there,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the bike stores can get involved and, there can be all kinds of like patriotic types of things. It doesn't have to be, I like music, so, I'd like there to be entertainment.
Yeah, I
If
thought
you're not super selective about the type of music or what, sometimes you can get some really good
Oh, yeah.
deals.
Yeah.
We've really got some great,
Yeah.
bands, some entertainment
Yeah.
for Riverfest, and it didn't break our budget.
Exactly.
I was thoroughly shocked.
Are you familiar with budgeting for events before they come?
I have minimal experience. past.
Okay.
I've had success, but it is not, I'm trying to make it part of my wheelhouse, but I would need some help doing that as well.
I'm wondering, so I'm thinking Public Works is probably gonna have to be included in some of that. Trafficking, like whether it's police or fire, either donation to the fire company for doing that, or,
Signage, donation for
yeah,
fire police signage,
yeah,
coordinate with the police department.
yeah, those kinds of things, and see what those numbers might look like. And then whatever activities we might wanna include.
Yeah, and food trucks don't have to be subsidized. They basically,
They're gonna do their
they
own
make
thing.
their money from people who buy from them.
Right. But I like that idea of come to our event, sell your food, and then portion of sales donate into Parks and Rec.
Mhm.
That's,
Are they allowed to do that?
Who?
Are they, like, are we allowed to take donations as a?
And even if we can't, we can ask them to donate to the fire police.
Yep.
So
I would say some
yeah,
other
we can
nonprofit
direct
in
the
town that could use that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're allowed to, for,
probably not.
come on.
That's a great point, I don't.
I don't think you can.
I don't think so, because we were talking about that stuff with Maple, and we couldn't, the borough couldn't accept donations for that kind of stuff either.
If we wanted to go down there, I think this year you just gotta get it started, figure it out. I've built budgets for stuff like this before, so I'm not more.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We can bring it forward and look at it together.
So we have to put a proposal together based on what it is we want.
As best as we can, so it's so that we can present it to council for their budgeting in September. That way they can try to include it, and I believe that most of our council is very enthusiastic about having it happen.
How did the, how did citizens want it?
That too, yeah, yeah.
Instead of
So-
not having them.
For that to happen, do we want to have like a working session next meeting, or do we want to, like, is there like from now, between now and then, the next meeting, do some people just like put ideas down?
So in between now and then, I think Megan and Ms. Kaufman would work together,
Okay,
and reach out to like the police or fire and say, you know, what does it look like for this to happen? If it's fire, how can we donate to you guys, or vice versa? And then
We would bring it back.
to here,
Or
right?
we
we would-
communicate.
Yeah, or, yes, and emails individually.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we did before.
so it doesn't have to be elaborate, it doesn't have to be like a formal.
No, they will, they'll need.
We'll have to work on it in the meantime, and we'll have to give them the best idea we can of what we want.
Okay.
So like, if we want to block off, what is it, Commerce to bootlegs, is that the thing?
Yeah.
If we wanted to do both sides of the bridge with food trucks, or one side down, or not even up there, but down at the bottom of Rotary, like let them know where we're seeing that
Really think through
happening.
the details.
Right, and then do we want to have some activities at River and Rotary and, you know, everything in between?
And their special event permit request form will help guide some of that stuff
Yes,
too,
yes.
on what they expect from us.
Yeah,
I think now is just trying to get an idea of the budget.
before they go into budget.
Right, by September, and then more of the details can be ironed out for the application.
Okay.
So I would like to make a motion to allow Ms. Kaufman and Megan to communicate about 4th of July for 2025, involving Rotary and River Parks, and what it looks like to make that happen. Create a budget to bring back to Parks and Rec to review. I have a motion.
I motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
1 second.
Everyone in favor, everybody.
Yeah, can I second on myself?
Are there other holidays up for discussion, or?
That was the most,
Canfield and Kaufman.
Yes.
yes. That is just the first one that popped into my head, I guess, because it's what we're in now and just getting over. But absolutely, if there's more that anybody has in mind regarding holidays and where things could happen, I think Easter's another good time to chalk some stuff.
That's my only thought there is, do we want to maybe piggyback with some things that are already happening?
Right, the
for
fourth
events?
Friday.
Yeah, that's what we're.
Holidays?
Right.
And what the
What
market
those-
house might
what those
do.
other things are. I'm
What,
sorry.
yeah, we've gotta find those out, like what the market house has going on, what merchants have. That's what I'm trying to get is like their schedule, what it looks like, and where we can fall into that, so we always have a presence.
Yeah.
At those events.
Yeah. I know that Thanksgiving is popular at different communities around the country. There's turkey trots that are
Yeah.
done, like almost like fun runs
Yeah,
that have like some kind of fundraiser attached to it. Some of them do, some of them don't. But it's just a sort of a fun time to get crazy. People dress up in costumes like turkey hats and different crazy things, and it's fitness oriented. Because everyone's going to be consuming large amounts of calories later that day, so it's that might be an idea to toss around, so, to kind of get a community
It
feel.
also reminds me of the movement where, like, what is it, the day after Thanksgiving, you go outside and take a hike to hike off some of that.
So turkey trot, is it,
yeah,
I haven't heard of it before, so I'm not.
Yeah, it's if you Google it, it'll
Figure
pop
it
up
out.
all over.
York City has it, and you do their trail.
Okay,
It's on Thanksgiving, and people dress up, they bring their babies. I've done it a couple times when I lived over there, it was pretty cool, it was fun, you can walk it.
so do they also incorporate activities throughout that?
No,
Okay.
they strictly go there early in the morning, everybody gets together and does it because it's Thanksgiving. You go back home.
So
Yeah,
that just
try
comes
out.
to mind.
Do you have a location in mind?
Probably like the Northwest River Trail, maybe. That if we ever get like a trail system connection at the parks, that might be kind
That are like,
I know
yeah,
that's
we'll get there
on-
someday.
Yeah.
of yeah, like an urban trail.
Right, and that would be great to be a part of it too. Yeah. I'm just gonna note that. Okay, so we have one holiday down and a suggestion for the turkey trot. Any other suggestions for holidays coming up that might work around it?
Let's talk about Labor Day and then we go into Halloween. Isn't there a Halloween party in Locust Street?
There always is one,
Feels like something we could maybe just, even if we just have a table.
Table, yeah.
I know it kind of goes hand in hand. I'm just thinking out loud. Parks and Recs, Arbor Day, and Earth Day kind of makes sense to have something around that.
When is that?
So just as far as nature is
There's a
concerned.
great turnout at Sods for Earth Day.
Mm.
What day?
You have a really good one too. It was
That's
just
in
to be about to go.
It's in April. Oh, okay.
And then Arbor Day, I believe, is in April too, right?
Yeah, so
we
we can combine the two almost.
Sounds like we have plenty of time to get there. This is good.
And
Sure,
it,
we could.
and that could maybe go hand in hand with like an effort of, I don't know, I mean, every community, every town or city, I mean, ought to pride itself on, planting trees and having it be well thought out and desirable locations, because it just adds to the, to the,
Absolutely. I think for Earth Day, the borough coordinated a borough-wide cleanup.
Yeah, it was for
Mhm.
you.
yeah, yeah, I think Chief Brommer was part of that.
Yeah, I think there's something
Councilman morale.
they're gonna do annually. And then Sods always has a great event that we can certainly table at.
I'm not familiar with socks.
Oh, Sods Metal Recycling is
Oh, yeah.
462 on Earth Day. I think for quite a few years now, they do a big event and invite people in. There's
Oh, I didn't
different
know that.
organizations are tabled. They give free tours of the plant.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I did that on Arbor Day. I'm on the Shade Tree Commission. Last year, for the first time, we had a Trees of Columbia photography contest. We didn't get any trees sadly, but we did reach out to the school district. So worked with the school district superintendent, Lady of Angels School, and We had the different age categories, starting with, I think it was, starting at 10 to like 13, and then 14, then 17, and then whatever, 18 over. So, because it was the first year and we didn't really seem to get a lot of publicity about it initially, it was still seemed like people were interested, and it was just a way to get people out and just getting them interested in nature and the trees that we have, and like pick a tree that you love and take a picture with your camera and then submit it. And we had it all set up to be juried, as far as you're going to have, we had 2 artists and arborists who were going to judge the photos, and then we were going to display them in the market house. So everything is in place to do that. We just need people to enter the contest.
You need a networking to get it out there.
Yeah, and it can, like we said, not just, it's certainly the young people. And talking to you the other night, I'm convinced that that's where we go, but also anyone that's in the community wants to take pictures and enjoys the beauty of the community. That's just a great way to showcase what we have, and it gets them out walking, and it gets them, just thinking. So it's just something that's in the works already, and we will be bringing it back, and that's something you can promote, and certainly Parks and Rec would be a big part of that.
I was gonna say, the Arbor Day ceremony and event is already like a nice little thing. Smokey the Bear was there this year, which was pretty awesome. We could certainly add something to that. I'm sure we would be allowed to.
The Crossings building's gonna be the next year again.
Yeah, and I know that there were individual homes that I wanted to go to it, and I totally forgot about it, but it was like Garden Day in Columbia.
Yeah, we did this stuff back in June. Yeah, that's great, Columbia. It's the garden tour.
Yeah, so like you go from home to home, and you can view the garden, each individual gardens, and but I'm sure there was a map that was put together that told you where, who was participating and where. We could do something similar, like if we identify like special trees within our neighborhood, within our community, we can do almost like a walk the trees, like have a map of like really magnificent standout trees.
You can walk, good run. Good job between them.
At the Indian Steps Museum, there's a 350-year-old holly tree. It's kind of cool.
Okay, next we have, discuss what we believe Parks and Rec is expected to provide for the borough.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Sure you don't want to talk about holidays?
Back to the holidays.
Yep.
I appreciate you planning out a year in advance, because time flies very fast. The previous borough manager had the idea, concept, but I don't think it came together in time. But in 2026, it'll be 300 years since the Wrights Ferry became a community. So his idea was something similar to, you see the photos of the old town, whatever they used to do, where everybody had bunnies and everything out everywhere. He wanted to do something big like that throughout the community. So, and again, that's 300 years. Columbia / Wrights Ferry is big in business.
Yeah, it's a centennial.
Yes, so I don't know the exact date, sometime in June, but I think you guys are up for trying to start something like that. I know he asked people in general to be part of it, but again, like they said, that dropped. So maybe you guys can start something, and with you guys starting it, initiating it, they come in, you'll have all the different clubs and everybody else involved. So that's just something I think you guys ought to look at, maybe even.
So what did he have in mind for the event? Like what type of?
So I only ever saw black and white pictures.
It was like Flag Day, or what was it called? Centennial Day or something like that. Oh, yeah.
Columbia
Old
Old Home Week,
It
and
was
they
on-
used to
Oh,
drag
Old Home.
pillars
Yes,
out
I
onto
love
Locust Street.
The
They
big
would
white
bring
ones that were.
big flags. I mean, when people talk about Columbia
Mighty
being very patriotic, they are talking about Columbia
Yeah.
Old Home Week.
Yeah.
Old Home
Week.
Even in those black and white pictures,
Yeah.
you can
Just
tell they went
imagine.
so hard.
I don't know what Old Home Week is, but, yeah.
Well,
Maybe we really need some visual reference next time.
I think.
Yeah.
so.
When's the last time there was an Old Home Week?
I think there was some homage paid to it over the years, but I have no idea. I think that's been a long time buried.
Yeah.
Probably 100 years ago.
No,
Yeah, I love me a good
No, I have a wooden coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a wooden coin from
That-
Old Home Week. My mom has she collected Columbia memorabilia. I have a book.
Yeah, there was more recent, it was like in the early 2000s we did
Yeah.
one. 2006
I get
they
the
probably did
impression
one.
they may be costumes.
Yeah,
to,
so we
like,
did a walking
clothing
tour, there was all
stuff,
kinds of
but I'm
events
not
here.
getting-
Sort
I
of
think
period
I
stuff.
think they
Yeah.
celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's
So, yeah,
weird.
Right.
there was a night, in 1980,
Find it in
oh,
a way that
Yes.
pays homage to
really?
300 years of
1783,
Yeah.
it's actually local freedom.
Yeah.
I also think these 100 later stuff.
And
And lots of other things in town have great old cars.
Yeah.
That would be a fun aspect.
You know
of
what
it.
we could do is leverage the, it's like a period vintage thing, right? And with all of the antique mecca of Columbia, maybe we can really leverage the antique store owners to say, hey, this is a way to draw further attention to you. And maybe they could like pitch in and sort of be sort of like a backbone to this centennial
Right.
celebration.
Of like, they could be the trail of
Yeah.
businesses that go through town.
I'm just screaming that I'm biased right now a little bit. We just ran through Riverfest where we teach everybody the stories about the Civil War.
Mhm.
Old Home Week have a term where we
History.
teach people about the history of Columbia.
Yeah.
We could invoke some of the same organizations maybe.
Well, historical organizations like the Wrights Ferry, what is it, the Wrights Ferry Foundation?
Wrights Ferry Mansion, the
Mansion.
Columbia Historic Preservation
Yeah.
Society, there's the Underground Railroad.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, like I love the historical perspective better.
But
I
they
don't
did,
think that's the only thing, because Old Home Week was a very showy celebration, but I like putting, because it's something that is defined in our past and culture, maybe just using that as a platform, as part of the event, to let people explore that if they wish.
Yeah,
in the past, there's always been a committee specifically charged with that, because it is such a large
oh,
undertaking. So
yeah,
it was the Old Home Week Committee, so you actually appoint a committee, people could join. It might even be in place already. Eric's saying about, I would think Chris Vieira would know about if there was already something in the works as far as a committee, and then you just would join in with that and be a part of. There'll be a lot of things that.
does
would be-
council form the committee?
No,
No.
no, that would be a part of it.
Yeah.
You'd have a member, I would think, would
Yeah.
go to it and be, that's what Mark was doing, is what
Right.
you were saying. Mark was involved in it, but it would be taken on by volunteers once again.
Yeah,
And basically what I'm saying is I would try and steer something to get a committee started.
Get rolling.
so this is a centennial celebration happening in 2026.
Yes.
Sort of in line with the Wrights Ferry.
300 years.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So we had antique stores and historical organizations come up so far.
Well, you want everybody involved.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
No,
town-wide.
no, I mean like to get the committee for that specific thing going, it might be
It's gonna be everybody.
ideal to, what do you mean? How big can the committee be?
Committee as big as it needs to be.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanna put a parade in. If you have a parade that day or whatever, a day, then you might want a subcommittee of that committee for the parade itself. If you have fireworks or festival or whatever.
So it sounds like we need a motion to spearhead a committee.
I don't think you need a motion, you just need to make it part of the discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, like we do with the other holidays.
And
Okay.
I also wanted to mention, before we take it too much further, I think in 2026 is the 250th anniversary of America, and there's like a lot of grant money out for events and stuff.
Hmm.
And you're saying this is in June, I'm
I-
not sure off the top of my head either,
I forget.
but it feels like maybe that's something we should maybe look into if we were going to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that entails, but it seems like maybe an opportunity.
It sounds like a lot of the committee might already be ready to go and just got dropped off. We just gotta find out who.
I was supposed to be on a committee, I never heard anything, so I don't think anything actually officially got started. It
Okay,
was an idea,
if it's any going on, okay.
So it's now on our radar.
Okay, so that would be
Our
under holidays.
minutes. So
Yeah.
someone's gonna
We're
see
gonna
it.
be reaching out back into those passions.
That's right, if everyone get them back on board.
So,
Can it be in the
To-
minutes, say everybody who sees this, if you're interested, reach out first.
Help us.
so bullet D, as far as, are we back onto that? Expectations
Yeah, let's move on.
of Parks and Rec.
So when I went to a council meeting I don't remember which proposal it was, if it was to remove the fountain or to allow more, but I presented both of those. And at one of them, I want to say Heather said that we were tasked with getting people into the parks and, like recreational activities. That is a very broad, that leaves it pretty wide open. And it can entail anything from what I've seen so far to landscaping of said parks, to getting events into parks and getting people back into the parks, whatever it takes to do that. If it costs money or is making any changes, we've got to take it to council to be approved. So we discuss it here, vote on it, and take it to council. That is my impression so far. Does anybody else have something different? Does anybody believe it's something different? Or does anybody think that we should have a workshop with council to see if they have expectations of us? When I first came into this, they pretty much were all on the same page that they didn't want to tell us what to do. Like, that's not what this was for. It's really about getting the community back into the parks and getting them used again. So where does that leave everybody's thoughts?
I just, in general, I just feel like, as a new member, relatively new, I think this type of question is always good to review every once in a while. And I'm sure there's something in writing, whether it be bylaws or some proclamation as far as like what the Parks and Recreation Committee is supposed to focus on. I think I look at the two words Parks Recreation, and I think that the title basically defines the work, the focus. So I take things quite literally sometimes. But as far as like, I think of a community having parks, then naturally the recreation kind of goes along with that, because within a park, there are recreational activities. But then more broad, like my fitness and wellness background, I know that Parks and Recreation in Philadelphia coordinates and leads the Broad Street Run, for example. So that's one of their huge initiatives under Parks and Rec is the Broad Street Run, which is an annual event that has turned into 10,000 people running down Broad Street for 10 miles. That's a form of recreation that the community gets behind. They look forward to doing something like that. So I look at like, okay, well, we have the river trail that runs through Columbia. We have bicycle shops. I think there's a big bicyclist community here. It lends itself to outdoor activity. We have the river. So there's I don't know, I'm rambling right now, but, I would like the question to be answered for me, or at least have something that I could read, and maybe there is something like that.
Have you gotten our bylaws? That doesn't necessarily tell us
Well,
what we're here for,
Yeah.
but it gives us rules that we've got to follow.
yeah, I need to kind of sit
Yeah.
down and kind of pour over some of the material that is already handed over to me.
Aren't you doing what you're
Yeah,
supposed to?
yeah, we
do?
are. It doesn't have
What
to,
was the purpose of the,
it doesn't have to over,
why
we don't
are
want,
you doubting what you're doing? You're doing what you were tasked to do.
It's not that we're doubting what we're doing. We're just, we just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable in the position that they're in and has an understanding of what's expected of us.
I mean, you can do what you're doing. I mean, you have a tremendous resource down with the crossings building, down all the parks. If people are using them and you're having activities that involve the parks, isn't that what you're doing? You're trying to find ways to get people into the parks, talk about improving parks. I mean, you're talking about connecting the parks. I mean, it seems like you're doing what you're.
yeah, but we want to make sure that we're not doing things that, there's already, like Public Works, for example. Public Works is responsible for X, Y, and Z.
They're not
And
doing it.
is
They
there-
also
They're
doing
seeking some direction.
So it's a shame that you tried to.
If I may, it's in this binder, and it does say that the Columbia Borough Council Parks and Recreation Committee was created in 2018. And it's responsible for planning new parks. We're doing that.
Mhm.
Maple, right? And renovating existing parks, which is Maple and the town square. Planning activities for borough children and adults. The committee, then it just says what the committee consists of and when they meet and how many.
So
Some
planning,
of the other goals that, the board's goals are to find out what borough residents would like to see at the borough parks, which we're doing, recreation and facilities, and recreation activities, and get them to participate in them, which probably has been a challenge. Support the borough police and the borough schools on their youth mentoring efforts.
Oh, that's
Didn't know
cool.
That was something new.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Meet with representatives of the Columbia Borough School District to discuss the roles of the schools and recreational program, as well as the best way to identify students for the Youth Advisory Board. Didn't know there was one of those, but apparently there was. Involve and coordinate with various local organizations such as Boys and Girls, which we're doing. Merchants
getting
of
there,
Life
yeah.
Network, Hands Across the Street, Chamber of Commerce.
Where's Network no longer?
Well, this is 2008.
We go by yours.
do,
So
All of us have a binder
it
like
stayed a
that?
really
Should, do we
great
not?
I'll look for it.
understanding.
I'm so disorganized.
That was good. I
Yeah.
kind of got there. and was like,
Yeah.
Where is God to say it's?
Yeah, that's good.
Why were we
That's awesome.
created? Here we are.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think those are all good things. I think it actually,
One step further is the previous board handed out a lot of these. Did we get any feedback? Because hundreds of them left the crossing.
So we don't know. Sylvia had
You want to pass them down?
basically had all of this done.
She was the only one who had access to that?
Correct. And when it was brought up at one of the meetings, and she kind of was like, it wasn't really successful, but I don't know, does that mean like we got 2 and it wasn't successful, or we got 15 and it wasn't, like, I don't know what that really, how unsuccessful it was. I did feel like that it wasn't enough when we talked about it, but nobody really had the time in our group to go out door to door. Angie and I did have some interest, but we didn't feel comfortable. It was our first
I don't
year.
think door to door is a great plan.
Yeah,
But could we maybe curate just a handful of questions that we could verbally ask people when we're doing some of these events in the future? That we could just,
this
I
is
would
cool.
just think if our
Feedback?
table's set up and we draw them in, we're giving away a Frisbee or giving away something.
Yeah,
That
just use
we can then
questions.
ask, say, look, we're surveying, what do you think
Yeah.
needs to
I
happen?
mean, I could
I think that's
sit,
our duty.
I think each of
We're
us
doing it then.
each of us could take a meeting.
Yeah.
And brainstorm on our own, but we're 4 people. And we're 4 people that make up the Rex and Park Committee, and minus 1 or 2, I'm not sure who's not here. But, you know, we could do that ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but we should and ought to hear from the community too.
Right,
Like, I have a wish list,
yes.
like, you know, I have my own wishes. Like, I love, the park, Klein's Run Park over in Riceville. They have an awesome, Frisbee golf course. Disc golf, which would be so cool, like to have something like that, you know, somewhere, here. But there's also a park that my wife took our new puppy to, and I don't know why we're so old and have a puppy, but that's another subject altogether. But there's a park, I think it's at West Hempfield, but it was, I don't know the name of it, but it was designed for disability, kids with disabilities. Yeah. So I think that might be a need within the community from a certain segment, you know, that might want a specialized park like that, that has like, you know, different things that really. There's also tactile things like New Harmony Notes is like this musical park that is like sensory gardens. Like, I love labyrinths. You know, that would draw a unique population to our community because it's specialized. Anything outdoors. I mean, I love fitness and wellness.
To find out specifically what kind of programming our community wants in our park. I mean, it's important that they have the say in the features,
Yeah.
but if we're not working on a current park plan, what would you love to have in your park? Would you like there to be some structured play days or something? Is that, you know,
Yeah.
That's okay.
And what you just read, I didn't know, like the youth mentoring aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I'm working with my church is to create a troop, like a scout troop, but it's Trail Life USA is the organization. It's nationwide, but it's mentoring boys to become men, to know how to become men, that are of upstanding character and integrity, and boys that have grown up without a father figure a lot of times, or fathers that can do the scouting with the boys, and together they grow and become a deeper relationship. So something like that could get underway here, and there's a little bit of effort, but you can create a troop within your community. You know, it takes about $500 to start something like that up for a startup. But there's another thing. I lost it, but I'll probably come back to it. But that's kind of cool. This is selfish. The whole reason why I'm here on this board is because I have a vision, and I really would like to learn the community and understand, because I'm new to the community. I'm 3 years old, 3 years new to this community. But the very first, before I even moved here, I had a meeting with Mark Stivers, along with Bill Cloyt and a few other people, the mayor, and we met in this room before I even knew what this building was. I brought forth a vision of creating a rec center for Columbia. And I've never lost that vision. I just don't know how to get it started as a for-profit, a nonprofit. I don't want to step on toes and pull the rug out from under like Boys and Girls Club or PAL, or place things that are already happening. So I would like to have it be like a building, a brand new building on a lot of land that could have outdoor pools, that could bring all of these resources together, and it would be for everyone, kids, families, older adults, a rec center that there already are rec centers that are out there, like Hempfield.
So our last board chair, Sylvia, same vision, same dream.
Okay.
McGinnis is like down the road from now, but I think that's where we were gonna suggest to council
Mhm.
about a rec center.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a feasible thing yet or not. I'm not sure how much conversation Sylvia really got into it. I think it was really too soon to bring it up at that point because they were still like testing the ground and everything at McGinnis. So that is, as far as Parks and Rec goes, the board that was here before, that was on the to-do list as well. Okay, so do we want to ask council for a workshop? Or do we feel comfortable with our book's description of what we're to do?
No.
Yes, what?
I think we're okay. I said it more because I feel like we could probably.
I didn't feel so good a month ago,
Um,
but when you and I, I'd say, for me, it's a nah.
Not to have the workshop.
With,
I don't think we should. I don't think we need.
I agree, we don't need the workshop.
we'll figure this out.
Does a no need to
We
be a
just need
vote?
to be together. It doesn't, it's just a discussion.
We can make a
Oh, it's on the agenda.
Do we make a motion over that because it's on the agenda, but even though like nobody wants it?
It's only on the agenda as a discussion, it's not.
So not a motion, okay.
Isn't the borough going through a transition with
Yes.
new borough manager and
Yeah, there was.
so they got their own stuff to figure out.
Okay. Discuss a social media, discuss social media, Facebook group for Parks and Rec. So in your packets, there is I know this is the first time you guys are seeing this. This is here. Yes, it's yours. Do I have all your stuff? What's going on?
I was generous.
So I mentioned to Heather that, well, I did email, if we thought this would be good, and, the responses I got were in agreement. It's a little, what's the right word? If we do this, it has to be like professional and up to the standards of Borough Council. So we're gonna wanna make sure that anybody involved in running the page is understanding of any restrictions or rules that might be involved. At this point, do we have anybody, I believe Megan, you were interested in helping admin?
I could definitely help admin. I admin the SMHA pages, I'm familiar with it, but I would love somebody else's personality and thoughts to be involved. as
Involved,
well.
right? So I personally felt that we should have at least 3 of us at helping with it. I don't have to be one of them, but I am familiar with administrating social media pages. So I do have the skills for it, but I don't have to be one of them either. But I am willing as well.
You know who would be great? Does it have to be on the committee?
So we would want it to be, if it doesn't have to be a council person, like we would report to council and then have them post, then we would probably want it, whoever they've approved to be on this board. It's a very
It just shortens the amount of steps as well.
to go through it.
I was just thinking, there's,
Bureaucracy.
in the Ignite building here, isn't there like a marketing group? Like a marketing,
They do a website and then, Discover Columbia
Discover
is like a tourism.
do they have any expertise in this kind of stuff?
I'm sure he could sit down with us and have a conversation or like a skills workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
What's
know
his
if
name?
they have somebody that we could outsource.
Justin Rule?
Yes.
That's who I was thinking. I'm a visual person, but as far as content and administration, like you don't want me on that. I'll mess everything up. I'll muddy the water.
I think we're gonna be staying on the borough's website, but as far as social media goes, it would be Facebook. I don't know if there's a whole lot of
Mhm.
content design that needs to go into that, because it's really just posting.
Yeah, events.
I think we defined what, and obviously under the scope of the professional, we're a reflection of the borough, what our Parks and Recreation brand or personality would be. I see us posting beautiful pictures of our parks, maybe some facts or information that relate to our parks or recreation related
Yeah.
to Columbia. Obviously, information about our events. And we could use that platform at times, I'm sure, in ways to support other organizations or events that we're not a part of.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
It feels like a good, solid starting point that's attainable, easy, but we can develop and change. But it gives anybody who interacts with our page the feeling that they're interacting with a person.
Right. And they have the opportunity to message, and I have a question, what do I need to do to get a park permit? We can say go to the borough office.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or say they notice something, and say they see something happening in the park, and they,
We can air
wanna talk to
grievances,
somebody.
but that can also, we have to decide on how we want to deal with the grievances. Obviously, we shouldn't hide, we should answer as many as we can, but sometimes, especially online, conversations can escalate, so we just want to be
right,
that.
very
When we draw the
mindful,
lines.
right.
I would say
I would like to
it's
see
more
people
for
keep
information. I wouldn't think we want to answer any questions that have a grievance. I don't want any part of that.
Well, you're gonna
That's
get,
fair.
you're gonna get comments on social media.
Ignoring them can be bad too.
I love the idea of having our own page, but opening it up to, opinions, good, I'm okay about transparency, I really am.
Mhm.
But some things get way out of hand and they get off track from where you're trying to go. But
That
it's
would be-
social media.
Yeah, that would be the instance that we're talking about. I don't think we'd
Yeah.
ever post anything that would generate
Right,
something,
right,
but
right.
you
Just
never
never
know what's
know.
gonna come out of left field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it'd be good to talk to Justin, because he's dealt with that kind of thing and understand and read this and.
So this talks about, the policies and what we should have in place.
Okay.
I wanna say that the borough should already have some sort of social media policies available for us to review, because they have a Facebook.
This didn't come from them.
And I
This
went,
did come from.
and I went through
One
this
of
pretty
them.
hard before we came here, and this is a really great outline, and it has a really good direction. Even about like getting permissions for photos, copyright issues, and a lot of,
It's all in
like 101 style stuff.
There's, the other thing I'm saying, I don't know if we could have 3 people, because that kind of makes us a quorum at that point.
Yeah.
Unless you want,
I don't know if
it
that-
would have to be 2.
Social media or not.
To be administrators of a page.
Because all 3 administrators were able to read messages that somebody's sending.
You're not making policy, you're not changing it, you're just reviewing people who's posting, right?
No, if they would message the page directly, like say you message the page to say, hey, the water fountain's empty, can somebody go fill it? All 3 of us would be able to see that one message and have you, that wouldn't matter? Okay. Okay. Do we make a motion to request council, allow us to create a Facebook page, and would anybody be willing to create it this time? The request one from council, request from
I don't even know how to create a Facebook page, like, you know, so as far as,
what are your thoughts on it, helping or not helping?
Oh, but we're gonna link up.
I don't mind, like, I don't know how much learning curve there is, with it. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but all I do is,
I meant, it helping network. helping-
Oh.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, for sure. I think it would be great to have a Facebook page. I think I'm all for Parks and Rec. I think I question, like, where does information come from in Columbia? Like, is it fragmented? Is like every place does their own marketing?
There is, Discover
Until
Columbia
you get
has a calendar.
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
So until you get, so like each
If you
individual
can,
will
like-
do its own marketing, but if you're part of the merchant, then merchants will market for them as well.
okay,
And things like that.
okay. Yeah, I just am not connected. So I think I just recently got on Discover Columbia. And that's Facebook, isn't it? Or,
You get
It is a website and a Facebook.
No, I didn't
Okay.
hear a motion, a second, or a vote
Motion.
to favor or
Ms.
what it was.
Kaufman would like to make a motion to create a social media page on Facebook.
Motion to request permission from council to create a Facebook page for the board.
Thank you.
Kaufman, second was
I'll second.
I'll third.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay. Old business, motion to and discuss to cancel the following, oh yeah, we have to do that still. Dates for the 3 movies in the park previously scheduled for June 14th, the movie Game Plan, July 26th, Meet the Robinsons, and August 23rd, Wonder. I didn't know if there was a motion.
So we just have to motion to
Motion-
dismiss all of that. and
Correct.
Cancel all of what was previously agreed to.
Correct.
Okay. Can I make a motion?
Absolutely.
I make a motion that we forego the original plans and not have the movies held. So I don't know how detailed that is, but to cancel all of the movies previously scheduled.
Second.
Andrew?
Yep.
We're just going with what's written here. Motion to cancel the following dates for 3 movies in the park.
June 14th, July 26th, and August 23rd.
We're just going to have the August 16th movie.
We need to make sure that we tell the individuals that we were looking at. We went down the line to merchants.
Not merchants, no.
Yeah, they have us booked in on Locust Street.
I don't know. I didn't reach out to that one.
I will
The ones-
tell you.
Okay, yeah, the ones I reached out to, I did cancel already. It was Edible Classroom, different things. But now I've got to let them know now, 16th, so.
And trans. Jake?
Public Works, so
He
yes,
didn't know.
it had to be on the Friday because of Public Works.
Yeah, but he didn't know.
They didn't tell him yet, don't they?
Nobody told him on that for June. He thought he was going that weekend.
Oh.
And I was No, when I called down, is it Kim? Hey, no, we have to go there. So I will, I'll call. Okay.
Next,
Does he need to be told about August 16th?
I'm gonna message Heather and,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and let her know that that's out of the way and to follow through with that.
So you'll take care of it, letting you, tell her to let you know.
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right.
So then old business A, discussing park team needs and what that looks like, and choosing remaining parks if interested. I didn't even bring my sheet with me today, but we were discussing board members who would have certain parks that would be interested in focusing on throughout their time on Parks and Rec board.
Maple for me.
Yeah,
I didn't choose one, that was new,
yeah, you weren't
and
sure.
I'm not knocking on anyone's door.
Megan, I think you have-
Doing that, if that's what I'm gonna have to do.
No, you
I
don't have to do that, you
want
don't have to do that.
I think Andy picked Rotary, so I guess I'll go with you with River.
So you can do more than one if you want, like Megan's doing Sound Fair and River already. Like, there's-
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay. Then, I,
Is that the 4 parks that we have?
yeah, right now, we'll have
Which one did you have
McGinnis
again?
Park.
Maple.
and
For that shores upcoming.
There you go. I'll take McGinnis on it. It'll be in,
So you wanted to do River and McGinnis?
it's coming this way, yeah. I don't think there's gonna be anything I can do out there, but it's on here as our, coming out as our park, I don't know why. Unless there was a park being happening now.
Yeah, I would be, if we can do more than one, I
I
would,
think that's more industrial.
I think McGinnis would be something I would be interested. That's closest to where I live.
And
Yeah,
also
We do have to argue
the rec thing,
about
like if there's gonna be a rec thing,
Yeah.
that's
Green space, okay. That's not gonna fry. But I would. I'm trying to get that space on Fish Street.
So then I'm gonna be on
Fish
Visual
Street kids
with
should
you
have
and then
that.
Rotary with Angie.
Okay. Who's gonna be town center, or whatever it's called?
So I think that as a whole, we're gonna focus on that because it's so small, it's
Yeah.
not, we're not gonna be having
Yeah.
a lot of events and things like that. It's really gonna come down to the maintenance and the landscaping and things like
Yeah.
that, and
That looks nice, by the way.
it's,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been up there with
I
people.
took pictures, I can remember even have
Well, we can have events there though, so I mean, on
Yeah.
a small scale.
Mhm.
Yeah, anyway, we'll move on to that.
Okay, so what that looks like, no, you don't have to knock on doors.
Thank you.
So, but community feedback, so while we're out at maybe National Night Out or Fourth Fridays, you know, do you ever visit Rotary? And then that question survey that we were talking about, or Maple. And same with McGinnis, connecting to maybe neighbors out there, if at other events and things, and what would you like to see here? Because that whole thing's not even planned yet.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody's happy with it.
With,
Just sections off, that's it.
Okay.
who else up? Maple, so you and I, our focus is community in that area. What do we want to see? We have a master plan here somewhere that we're
Right.
gonna get to, but,
Right.
you know, focusing on that and then bringing that to everybody here at our meetings and then reviewing it as a whole group. So our small teams of two kind of just teaming up and collecting the information, like the binder said, seeing what they want, whether it is involving landscaping or playground equipment or, all the things. Does that help everybody understand?
Mhm.
Um,
Is the stadium, what's that called? Felton, whatever.
Gladfelders.
What is it called?
Gladfelders.
Gladfelter?
Yeah,
Gladfelter. Is that under Parks and Rec or is that?
No,
that's a private, yeah.
Private? Oh. Okay. Is there pickleball courts there?
They just put them in.
That's what I thought I saw. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
They sure do.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Follow up on town square landscaping plans. Do you have?
Can I just do my whole report now so I can, in general, as far as my update you at the same time?
Sure.
Okay.
That you're all town square, so right? Is it anything other than town square or is it just?
No, just what,
Yeah, that's
like, just not just the landscape plan, like a
Okay.
recap of what's happened in the last 2 months, 3 months. All right, great. So as far as the square, I don't have my usual written up report, but so I can just tell you, the fountain's been working and looking nice and clean, but that's because it's been maintained basically every day. Michael's been up there, my husband, taking care of it, keeping the flowers alive despite this tremendous heat.
That's a
That's
feat.
been a daily job.
Yes.
Keeping it watered, and, we also, so that's, just proud that that's been done. We had our first official, I put for Megan, because first official weeding party was, last evening, and the hottest day of the year so far. We had 5 volunteers, including myself and Megan, and we worked 1 hour. That was the maximum we could do in that heat, but we got a lot done. It looks really good. I think Phil, you got the weeds under control that are there, and hopefully they'll stop growing with the heat. But so that, and we've been also working on, you asking what was the pile of stuff there. It wasn't mulch, it was compost, and we were trying to work that into the soil because the soil has spots become like cement. The old mulch has kind of hardened,
Mhm.
and then trying to even put anything in there. So that's what we've been trying to work compost into that soil and get that loosened up with the pitchfork by hand. So that's been quite a task, but we're making progress. What we're working on as far as the plan going forward is we are working on what's called a CAD drawing, which is done by an architect, to be able to show what's there now, the base drawing of the elevations, what plants are currently there, and then what we'll do with that drawing, that'll be the basis of showing you what we would like to remove going forward, and then with the redesign, what we'd like to replace it with or refresh it with. So that'll all be done, and that probably won't be done until later this fall. So we're a little bit, just because of our own time and budget, plus whatever we design, we also have to find a way to fund. So, but we're taking our time with that. We're trying to get that done as volunteers, and but it is being worked on. The other big thing that we got, and I mentioned before last month, but that we actually have now commercial general liability policy through Craig Columbia, which is actually called Columbia Downtown Development Corp. So we are covered as volunteers. The Columbia Town Gardeners are covered to be working on the borough property. The borough is going to receive a copy of the certificate, so it'll have for their records too. So they are also protected for us to be working up there as volunteers under Columbia Town Gardeners. And like last night when we came, we had everyone sign in. And we do have a list, but we will, request that each time we know who's there, so we keep track of our volunteers. And actually, did you see that young boy came? He was about 10 years old. He signed up. Yeah. I have to call his nan, of course. I'm not calling him, but he gave his nan's number. I'm going to call him next time we're up there. Yeah, and then the last thing, another thing, an Instagram page that we have, it's up. You can see it, that post the new pictures. There's been a lot of the flowers that were in bloom, the cone flower, the daisies that were blooming, and then the best picture that's on there is the one evening we're up there working, and Kathleen Lutz and Kit Yeager came by. Actually, they were on their walk, and they came over, and they saw Michael and I, and they came over, and they were just thrilled with what had been done, and got a picture of them. So we have the two of them sitting by the fountain, which I think is a really great picture. And as we go forward with our new design, we want to incorporate something that honors them and what they've done over the last 20 years to keep it looking good. It's the most dedicated volunteers. There's been other people who have helped out, the Rangers, and then her Wickenheiser said she's been up there, and then Jeanette and Musser has also helped over the years. But Kit and Kathleen definitely were the two main ones, and to have them come by there, and that was a really, really special moment. And I kept saying, "Do you like it?" She's like, yeah. And then they had all kinds of suggestions going forward too, as far as the plants and things that have bothered them that they want to see fixed or removed also. So I'm like, okay.
Don't the two of them live nearby there?
Not really.
Oh.
They live up near the high school,
Oh,
on Kinderhook Road. So,
Okay.
yeah, they take a nice walk, but they're in great shape and
Yeah.
just absolutely, they had a lot of things to share as far as what they have done over the years and what they felt we should be maybe focused on. And they also want to continue to help with leading and doing things. They just didn't want it all to still be on them.
Yeah.
So like, I understand, no problem. So
What's
we-
the Instagram page?
It's called Town Square
Oh.
17512. Yeah, so check it out if you want to see the pictures, and I try to keep it updated. Look, the most recent thing that went tonight, just kind of funny, my husband said it to me, I was sitting there, someone left their medical in the boot, like they put on their foot, they left it there. So it's just like, okay, like, do I say yuck, or what do we do with that? Like, so we just took a picture of it, it's not gonna stay. And, and along those lines, with what we cleaned up the other night, I sent a message to Jake this morning. Someone came by, got the yard waste bags for us and emptied the trash. That's something just the boroughs was doing very regularly for us, at least emptying the trash, and somehow the yard waste bags always seem to kind of disappear. I think it's Wilson, but I'm not sure if he's picking them up, but whoever it is, thank you, we appreciate that. And Jake also has let us have the waste bags here at the borough at no cost. Of course, it's the borough property, but that was nice because we were buying our own bags for the yard waste, so that's nice. So I got a big stack of them. He knows how many I think we had. Did you know that we got yard waste bags? Okay, never mind. So we got the yard waste bags. At least the boroughs we're using the yard waste bags. So we don't have. They're like 75 cents a piece.
Yeah.
So you can easily do 5, 6, 7 bags at a time. So it adds up. So that's basically my report. Do you have any questions?
It's great.
Are you starting on invoice? So like the bags, for example, is that kind of stuff? Are you starting that invoicing kind of thing?
What we're spending personally?
Yeah.
No, we just been keeping it, and we would just donate what we had to date. Now going forward, I'm glad to have not to have to keep paying for that because it does add up. But
Right, well, that's what we would want to know what those numbers look like so that we can ask the borough to budget that moving forward.
yeah, they have money in the budget. They could pay for it now. As far as what I think there's like $4,000 in the borough's budget for the town square. But I'm not asking. You could put it on the budget as being towards the town square for what I picked up the other day. But up to date, we haven't asked the borough for any money.
No, I'm not asking about now. I know this is all volunteer until we move forward, but between now, while the volunteering's happening,
Right.
we're looking for how much did it cost while you did all the volunteer, so then we can show the borough that this is what they spent to do this
Right,
year.
and the amount of hours. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get used against me.
No, it
In the
also
end.
then I think becomes helpful in the event that you guys aren't taking care of the park anymore for whatever reason, like this is the
Yeah.
expected expense and the level of maintenance required.
So they can plan for that.
Yeah.
Or try to plan.
Yeah, I can do that. I don't know if I saw the minutes from before. I was looking at the video and I'm like, I can do that. I just know that the borough will never allot the amount of time that we are currently. They're not going to go there every day like we are and tend to the mountain. They're not going to pull weeds every day. They're not going to water the. That's not
not gonna happen.
Well, I'm sure, but it would still be nice to get the need shown to them at
Right.
one of their meetings so that
Okay,
if not, at least getting them aware, the community is aware, and maybe Parks and Rec gets community involved to step in.
And then maybe give the borough a chance to understand the gap.
What
there
the need
between,
is, yeah.
What you're doing and what the minimal, I don't know, you can kind of see what's
yeah.
the Excel here.
Yeah, I would hope it would receive positively, but I don't want it to be perceived, oh, we can't do that because it's too much time, it's too, people are doing it, so
I would personally like to see what it really is,
okay,
and not like, let's not make it too high because the borough's not gonna go with it. What it is what it is.
yeah,
It's for kind of the leadership to figure that out in the middle, but I wouldn't wanna send them an under of anything and find the shortness later on. It would be better for us to be over, and even if, say, it is just a number out there, say if you go with $8,000 and X amount of hours, and the borough still says we're still only doing 4,000, at least we can see the difference of what it took to make it look like it has, and then this is what $4,000 is doing compared to what the 8,000 did, so
all right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and all I would say is, to add to what you're saying, is that, I know Jake's gonna be super busy for the next foreseeable future, but what, in his honest assessment, what can they do as far as their maintenance, what can they afford
To
to
take
put
off.
towards the town square or any of the parks? What, on a weekly basis, especially for the summer, what can they do, what, maybe they need help already, so I don't wanna, like, but we could use their, even in emptying the trash and picking up yard waste, that still takes someone's time, to go up there and get there, so I just need to understand if he feels it's realistic within their time and with the manpower they have, they can actually dedicate any time to the things that we're trying to accomplish with the Parks in Columbia.
Right, but it'll show a need, so
Yeah.
maybe
There is a need already,
maybe they need to think about hiring another public works person.
or we can have summer help or whatever we can
Or,
do.
yeah,
Yeah, but you know, you're looking at more and more parks that are gonna need more and more maintenance.
people, right.
So who is gonna take care of, not just the town square, who's gonna take care of?
It allows us to know what our volunteer load would look like and what our
Yeah, true.
volunteer needs would be.
Yeah, well, that's, and the volunteer, and this is just another thing that goes back to residents are the volunteers currently. We don't have people yet who I've seen that are renters helping. And that's an ongoing issue for fire companies, for whatever. The people, and the average age of people helping is about 50. So just kind of, you know.
Yeah.
It's good, but you don't have a lot of young people at this point participating. You don't have a lot of anyone I see that's renting coming by and volunteering. So those are other things that we, you know, you're gonna need to find a way to reach out through our efforts to make those individuals also feel like they're part of the community and that we need them also to pitch in, because there's no way you can keep having the same handful of people, groups of people. We have some new people for the town square, for sure.
I think you're right, but I think that like there's some new ideas and there's like PA outdoor courts that will give you free volunteers and there are some opportunities that we haven't utilized in the past. If we get some of this information, we'll know where to place them.
Yeah, you can have occasional groups, but the continual thing where people show up week after week and year after year and really pitch in, you know, that's where, you know, other things can fill in, but you need to know that there's a core group of people that will always, and that's
if we
what
know
one
that
people-
every year in the spring, you need to do a huge cleanup
Right,
and we have access to a nice
Good
group of
yeah.
volunteers, we know that we should want them to use.
right.
You could coordinate through the high school. I know the students need a set hour. I think it's 40 hours of community service
Yeah.
to graduate.
Yeah.
And that would be a great opportunity for them.
Right, and that's why I was reaching out to the superintendent for the photography contest, you know, I her, but yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to include more people, and younger people too.
Because I know the student council, National Honor Society,
Mhm.
they participate in the cleanup of Locust Street Park when they do the big league cleanup
Yeah,
right at the end of winter, beginning of.
well, that's part of their charter is community volunteerism, yeah.
Right, yeah, I just think it always, this feels so good when you look around, you see new faces, you know,
Yeah,
and it really makes you hopeful, like, okay,
you know,
Yeah.
because I want, when you see the park rangers and you see everybody, no, everybody's been doing this for like 25, 30, well, Bill Boyd, 30-some years on this, all the same stuff.
Yeah, the kids have to learn the pride and respect too from the adults.
Right.
And
Yeah, but that's it, that's just,
Thank
I'll try to document some of it.
Thank you. Are you able to get, like a file of that to all the updates you gave? Also,
File?
a
You
file.
Do I write, let me write down, I did it tonight?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, once my computer runs, because I'm having trouble with the
Okay.
power now. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I said it, I mean, you have it written down, should I write it down too, did you?
What,
What I just read, do I have to
Or a
put it on a
copy?
separate piece of paper and submit it to the?
do you want me to copy that?
No, well, no, it's just my handwritten
Oh.
notes for it, yeah, usually I type it up, but today I didn't.
No, I don't necessarily put details. I
Right.
put, you gave an update on the town
Yeah,
square
right.
and,
I'm gonna get, what I wanna do, would like to submit for the record is the liability insurance, and they can have it, and if I give it to
yeah, I can put
So you guys
that.
will have that, and that should be sent to the borough each year, so you'll know that we have it.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure it gets where it needs to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nora.
Thank you.
Okay. Discuss consistency in parks and recreation at already happening events. So this is where the piggybacking off of Fourth Friday and whatnot comes in. National Night Out, what is it, August 6th?
Yeah.
We have a table. I don't know who can be there, but I know we have a table.
I can be there.
Awesome.
I will be there for SNHA, so I can tag you out and I can spend some time over there too.
Great, great. Whether I was gonna be here for this or Dream Center stuff, I was gonna be there also, so.
Nice.
I don't have my phone with me, but I think we're leaving for West Virginia that day.
Okay. I think that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, we have, so we go outside, we meet out there at that time. Sure Pam will send an email around again. Oh, she does.
Keeping you up? We keeping you up?
Is this just to make ourselves present
So, yes,
for the public?
right, National Night Out will fill Blackfelder's, the field we were talking about. The football field, they will surround it with stands. Sometimes they'll have a jail cell, they'll like put different community members, leaders under arrest and like bail them out kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Real activity, kid oriented, so they can grab stuff off the tables and
Yeah.
things.
Okay.
So we have a table there, we also have frisbees.
Yeah.
Mark already knows that we wanted a table, the banner, and the frisbees there. I'm not sure how they're getting there yet. I don't know if that's a Public Works is gonna make sure, and then we run it from there, or what that looks like, so I've gotta touch base with Heather again.
If it's in my car, I'll figure it out.
Same, either way, we can make it work.
We can take a van out and.
Are you-
Hey,
just
so
go.
I've got tables down there, all things, so
Yeah.
that much needs tables.
Yeah, and all, same. We got tables everywhere.
As long as there's ice cream from Scoops there, I'm good.
That line.
That line was crazy last year. Oh my gosh. They better bring us something truck.
Better bring your own ice cream.
So I'm gonna do we'll be there for National Night Out. What's the next event is going to be Fourth Friday. No, wait, no, we have, movie night. I'm in
Yeah.
August, right?
Mhm.
Wait. July, we have Fourth Friday for July yet. Remember? That is, I'm in 2025. Oh my
Is that the
God.
26th?
Sorry, my bad. I moved all the way back to 2025.
Don't do that.
That's the date. So Fourth Friday is July 26th. And they are doing that. Summer in the streets. Do we want to put our table?
I think that would be a great idea.
I'll do.
Table where? Right out front of the building
Say
here?
outside of-
Fourth Friday mainly focuses on like local street business.
Okay. All right.
So it, like, our street fills up with, community members and visitors just going into the shops and stuff.
Okay.
It's usually a band up halfway up the block here.
Okay.
My calendar is not working for some reason.
Do you have
August,
Well, we have the movie night.
That's the 16th.
16th, August 16th.
And that's Maple Lake.
I can be, I'll be there. I can be there.
Okay.
yeah, I can be there for that.
I can probably be at July 26th, fourth Friday too.
Okay.
Not sure. What do I do? Just kind of interact with people here?
Yeah, do we have an idea of questions that we want to ask? I'm not even sure which questions are on this QR code thing, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes just what program would you like to see in your park?
Yeah.
What do you like about your park?
Right.
Well, there's some very general ones like
Yeah.
that. Just, yeah.
What recreation activities would you like to see?
I think just setting up that won't be invisible.
Yeah.
You know, we can figure out questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It comes with a banner, so we have like our name.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I am going to message Heather and see about how we would get the table and stuff available. If I need to have it, like, I'm right in the area anyway, or if they have public works or whatever involved, we'll see what that looks like, and I will let, who's coming for July?
July 26th I am,
Okay.
and August 16th I'll be there.
And the same. I'm also doing August 6th.
I cannot be there August 6th.
The 4th, August, 4th Friday, I will not be here.
What does that do?
The 21st.
And that's the like carnival in the streets one.
No, that's, end of summer.
The end of summer dash.
I can be one of the people that go this one. too. I'm gonna message these dates to, Angie then and see what she would like to report to. Okay, that was okay for now, we can hold off on the rest.
Yeah.
And then,
Actually, do you want to take it into September?
we can,
Because we have that chalk the walk thing and the 4th Friday and the 27th. The 26th and 27th, who all wants to participate or available, just since we already have that on our.
I need September, right?
What's the 27th?
It's the 4th Friday.
And then the 26th is the chalk
Chalk the walk, yeah, we're
Oh.
having to.
So the idea is to chalk the walk in the area of the sip and sip
Yeah, yeah.
businesses. And then. they-
Are we the judges?
No, we
Oh.
would, I think they said teachers or something.
Yep, I think teachers,
Yeah, like our local
if they
teachers.
want.
Yeah, I can be there both
Both
times.
days?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so,
gonna be
See
away
what times it'll.
yeah,
early September.
Yeah, I'm on vacation. No, September.
The 26th might work good in shifts, because if we're gonna have
Yes.
people out there drawing all day, somebody to get people
Definitely.
studying.
Yeah,
do you have any
Earlier
idea
than
of the
that,
timeline
then.
for the 26th for the chalk the walk?
Is that a Saturday?
that is a
That's
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Well, I would be available in the afternoon,
Okay,
That's where I
after
have to see where I.
like 5 on.
They can, don't need me down there, I can come up in the morning.
Okay.
when do we wanna end it, 7, 8?
Well, if it gets dark and.
There was a little concern about 8, because of the darkness, so let's just go 7.
So 5 to 7? Okay, so top boundary, 5 to
We'll have
7.
to advertise that, obviously. We'll do all that when we're gonna talk about on the advertising for the movie and stuff. Okay.
And then maybe at the same time, create the Facebook page.
Yeah, good one.
So
We'll
you're
come
doing the
back to
5 to 7, do you know what time on that Thursday you might be around?
Why work?
When's that done?
Work. But, I can see, I can flex my time, you know, so let me just look
There you go.
at the calendar for work, yeah. And then I can let you know, leave it open, and you're gonna come up, Megan, in the morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the calendar now and see if we have anything going on.
5 o'clock.
You go 5 to 7, and then I'm gonna fill in whatever I need.
Right,
Because
right,
I'm pretty
I kinda
flexible
feel
too.
like that. too,
Yeah.
like we'll figure that out. Okay. I think it's the only one I wanted to make sure that we.
Do we know when we wanna start Thursday morning for the 26th?
I would think, kids are in school.
I was just thinking, maybe we don't wanna do it until the kids are done walking to school, because we don't wanna distract the kids from getting their,
10 o'clock.
getting to school on time.
I'm okay with them. I'm fine with it.
See, and some of these kids aren't gonna be able to do any of that, and I know it's an adult and kid thing.
It can be for adults, it can be for
Yeah, I think
groups,
the kids could come down.
it can be.
And they still have the next day. I think 10 o'clock. What are you thinking, noon, 10 o'clock? I mean, we don't wanna.
We would have 10 to 7 kind of thing, and then we can all kind of pick up different shifts, or even have a wrap either way.
Yeah, it seems like if that's the case, then in the evening when the kids get off school is gonna be when you really see
Want
it
more,
turn out.
we're gonna need.
We're probably gonna wanna spread out though too, like, depending on what blocks we're doing,
Yeah.
like each of us have a different block and
Yeah.
have a say.
Maybe for simplicity then, we should tighten it up. Maybe we shouldn't start in the AM, maybe we should do like a 12-1 start, so more of us can be
Yeah,
out
I like
longer.
that.
Yeah.
Because if the kids are in school, the number of adults, do we
Yeah.
need that, the
Right, the
morning?
whole gap.
Yeah, I like that,
So,
Yeah.
1 to 7?
yeah.
That gives adults time to be out there, but then kids can start joining just a few hours in.
And what are
We have to
we,
get
what are,
permission from the emergency.
what are we doing? Are we supplying the chalk?
We're
Are we-
supplying the chalk and asking questions about the park.
Okay, so, okay. I didn't
Just have a
know.
good time.
Yeah.
And just have, and just sort of mingle and say, ooh, that's cool, I like what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
this is a good time to bring this up. This is very random, but the prior committee, when Hope was in the seat, has a small stock of yellow Columbia volunteer t-shirts that was meant to be
ask.
For the
brought
board.
to this committee.
Yeah.
I can bring them. We
Mhm.
still have them. I don't know what sizes or whatever was ordered, but I have what was ordered.
Mhm.
But if we're gonna do events and stuff, I feel like
That's what they were
they're
for.
actually in the trunk of my car.
If you wanna bring them, we'll hand them out at the end of the meeting.
All right, I'll run out and grab them at the end.
Cool, so 1 to 7 on the 26th, for the chocolate walk. What about the 4th Fridays? When are we gonna jump into those?
Or we need to have our tables.
When do they even start then?
I think they're 5 to
Five?
8, yeah.
Okay, so what, would we set up at 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, anything else to touch base on that with being active in the community? Event titles, I think we kind of went over that last meeting honestly, but advertising parks and recreation itself instead of only the event titles. With the social media stuff discussion coming, I think we've already kind of addressed that we really want to focus on the parks and rec so that we can advertise all the things.
Correct.
Any other feedback to add into that from anyone?
No, I think it'll define itself a little as we start moving forward with it.
Mhm.
Shirts, yard signs, QR code flyers. So we did the QR code thing. I'll touch base with Sylvia about it, to see if it was, how well it went, if we got anything. The shirts you've got in the car, the yard signs are something we still have to work on. It hasn't been done yet. I know Hope was talking a little bit about jumping into advertising. I know that, but the movie thing fell all goofy. Is there, you have connections and ideas for that, for a parks signs?
Yeah, I mean, would we just want like a Parks and Rec logo so that way whenever we're out there, it's just a representation,
Pop it in.
not movie, just Is there a Parks and Rec logo that the borough uses on their website or anything?
I don't know that there's a logo, we just have the Columbia Volunteer on our shirt.
Looks like it's this, which is just Columbia Parks and Rec.
Underneath it, yeah. So that could be used,
Could do that, I mean, I'd like to make Parks and Rec maybe a little bit bigger
yeah, definitely.
on the sign. Yeah, but okay, yeah.
Um,
Can even maybe go.
it's like readable from a distance, and then even if, like, part of it has a QR code on it.
Oh, to get to our borough website or our Facebook page?
That's a good question, we don't know yet. 'Cause we still
Either
have to
or, or
create,
both.
Okay, but I like
maybe
that.
a link tree. One or the other, either to our borough page for Parks and Rec, and we gotta make sure it goes to the Parks and Rec page, what that looks like, and not just to the borough's page. I was also thinking something like, saying events on it, like that way when you scan the QR code, maybe it takes you to a calendar with everything that's coming up. Or they can find that on the borough,
Should be on the borough,
the page, right?
on their calendar.
Is it hard to make updates to the Parks and Rec website on the borough? Is it just something we submit or?
I have not tried yet. I don't even know if I've looked for a Parks and Rec page on the Columbia Borough.
There is one that has the parks listed. I said it looks
There's
like
not
it
a lot
could use
of information,
updated.
actually.
And a lot of
difficult for
it's
me to use.
that's there is outdated.
I don't ever try anything on it.
It's kind of hard to navigate.
It is.
I
But
agree.
It'd be interesting to find out if they use a consulting group or a third party to manage the website, or,
Might be just a staff.
I think it was just the stuff. Somebody, Mark might
Someone
have been doing
created.
some of it,
And it might be good to QR to the Facebook.
page, yeah.
And then we can
Have
leave
our
that
events.
legacy for all of the Parks and Recs to come. We can exchange admin duties.
Yes, yes.
yeah. It sounds like the Facebook page is gonna be new and more vibrant and maybe
Right.
We'll have
Fresh
that
content.
info.
And even the borough page, asking them to update the park page. Like, where's the history of Maple Park and how it got delineated? Where's the history of
Yeah.
River Park? And
Like, this should be right there with me. I
Yeah.
don't know that it is. I
Right.
think this lot lives in like another place.
that'd be great if it's on the website, if it's like a link
Yeah, I've never
to it.
found it.
I've seen this through Hope, but I've never found it.
Posted down
It
at
is
Maple.
Close to be.
I don't know if it's posted at Maple, but I know it's posted on the
People at
website.
Maple know it's not gonna happen.
I
What it
know,
looks like.
I think so.
When they were doing the Columbia River Park years ago, probably early 2000, they were talking about these to put it in the pavilion, supposed to, in a plastic casing. You could see their vision.
Yeah, so this is the, are we there?
Yeah, anyways.
Okay, so we're on the exercise trail planning. This is something that has gotten pushed back a few times. I am not stressed out if it continues to get pushed back because it seems like a lot to cover, but I would just want to say, if anybody had any ideas of landmarks that they would want to be included, please submit them. School properties, historical situations, like the oldest businesses in the area. I'm not sure what all that looks like, but what would you guys like to see? Or what would the people you're talking to when we're out here asking, hey, what do you think about an exercise trail in Columbia? Some of them may not even know what that means. So what types of, do we want to do a heritage trail? There's some areas, they'll have separate ones that you can take. So this one will be like a mile run, or this one will be 3 mile thing, and X, Y, Z. There's so many different ways it could go. Like an education trail, I can go to school, or a parks trail, a great trail.
Now, will there be like a digital aspect to this for people?
There definitely could be, like this is to
I
point
love
out
the
the
idea of doing like a layered trail. We've done like Google Map and layered the actual trail systems, and you just have to make an app, but that's really fun to start. To just do the digital guide, because getting wayfinding signs and stuff, it's a little harder, but we could definitely start taking this information and outlining it digitally to press it forward when we're not working on other things.
Yeah. Do you have an app resource for that to use?
So how we got the app at SMHA is, I think it's Millersville University has a class, and they actually developed it for us. And then, right now, I think we're paying, the professor does minimal maintenance. Now, they're students, so there's, the capabilities vary.
Right.
But they made a very functional app that's gonna outlast probably my time there.
So you have an app already?
No, we used a Google Maps system with layers, and then they took those maps and used it to create the app by embedding the Google. They're way smarter than I am.
Is the app like public for people to download?
Yep,
and
it's
use?
called Susquehanna Trails app. It's on Google and the Apple Play Store. But it was through this program with Millersville University, and I think that they offer it annually. So, I mean, I don't know. We had to submit like a proposal, and they selected us, but even if we didn't take it to an app level, the Google Map at least allows us to really frame it out and make changes and let it grow.
Yeah. What's your organization, Megan? What's your organization?
I'm with Susquehanna National Heritage Area. I manage the Columbia Crossing building down in the River Park.
National Heritage Area?
I love that idea. I think taking a visual might be easier than trying to put it on paper.
And it's a good starting point, and then we will see where signs would be best used or what trails are most used, because it tracks that information. I mean, it feels like a good trial run. It's not going to harm anybody. And then if we feel like we want to push it to fruition, even if it has to wait, everything is there.
Who pitched this idea?
I
Thought so, yeah. It was your idea. That's a really cool idea. I like it.
I like it a lot too.
So I don't know, maybe if we could each just put something together that we would like to see, or a trail that we may have in mind to connect some things.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the parks, they don't just mean our borough parks, but our private ones too, like Jansen and Locust Street and whatever else might be around. Okay. Follow-ups for each park. So Maple Park, we have this map in front of us. I wanted to show you guys this because we kind of talked about, is there a master plan somewhere? The answer to that is yes. This is what we were given by, I believe, Barbara Fisher last year. You can kind of see, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Maple already, but you can kind of see some of the things that they had in mind. They did want to include a bathroom in here somewhere. I'm not seeing it right away. Restroom and public, so towards the top right corner of the page, restroom, picnic pavilion with a bottle filler, so a water. How well does that work at the river? You guys still have that water bottle filler?
The one that was originally installed was fancy. It was a water bottle filler, a dog bowl, and a water fountain at ADA access height. It needed to be replaced rather quickly. The one that we have now also acts up a little bit. I think it's definitely worthwhile, but maybe just looking at products a little deeper.
The restroom thing, so in our community, it's been a huge concern of vandalism and being misused, and I think, as big as the need is for a public bathroom, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get everyone on the same page, but it looks like it's already in the plans for this, so I don't think you really have to push it too much. Honestly, that's one of the biggest things I'm excited about, is the bathrooms in the park, because it extends your time to be able to be there. They're also adding a third, it's like a half court, but they don't want it to just be a basketball court, I think. They're looking at making it a multi-use court, which is another great idea. The kids' play area is kind of inside that U on the left side of the picture. I had a suggestion of a way to help raise money was at Windsor Wonderland, they have fence around the little kids' play area, specifically to cover the kids' mulch area. And all the brails have been donated, like somebody donated money to have their name or whatever they wanted on the post. And those were put up to create the fence around the kids' safety area to keep them in their little jungle gym space.
I've seen that at other parks too.
Yeah, it's really neat. I'm not sure, again, how well it's gonna go over because it creates a vision block for like if police wanted to survey the area and see if anybody was in there. But it's a suggestion that could be used to help raise money for it. Benches was another one, bricks was another one for the brick pathway. The information I was given so far is that this is the layout, but it's not entirely the final piece, but it's the gist of what they want to do. But when it comes to materials and things like that, whether we do the benches and donations or bricks and donations, we are able to make suggestions to them about that. The construction cost stuff that came with it is what they had in the plans. So that shows things that they were already expecting to include when they redid Maple Park.
I like the Buffalo Soldier. I think that it's good representation of the African-American population.
The other thing is there's an individual, and I thought I brought it with me today, but I did not. She donated the park to the borough, and there's history behind that, and but so in the corner where you see the brick trail coming in at the top, from the top, and then it comes into the corner, I'm not sure if they were talking about where that circle is with the buffalo or the whole way up where that path is coming out on Fifth Street. Putting a welcome sign that might have the individual space who donated the park to Maple. I forget her name, I feel so bad right now, but I don't have it in front of me.
Who donated the land?
Here we go. Harvey Thomas Maple, the son of Catherine and Isaac Maple. Following his return from the Army, his sister Ada Maple Johnson purchased the former Fifth Street School for colored children, the original location of the Mount Ryan AME. So like all of that is mentioned.
That'd be cool.
And then this is her face. I know it's kind of faded, but maybe they could put that. Have you guys seen old
That's cool. Yeah.
old photo signs to kind of give somebody some mention to that?
Right.
So a welcome sign that would include some sort of
full-on
mention.
interpretive panel with the story.
Yeah, definitely.
Pardon me?
A full-on interpretive panel
Yes.
Yep.
dedicated to her, that story. It's
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
the founding of the
Right.
park.
Yeah, we should really do that.
Oh, there's another one. As far as the picture to maybe put on.
Yeah.
And whatever the rest of the backstory is. I
Yeah,
got
that
this-
definitely needs to be part of that because that's going to let the community know that, hey, someone cared about this place and cared about me in the future to allow me to have this, and I better damn well take care of it, you know, and you know, be able to take some pride in making sure that it's kept up nice and used, not vandalized.
Right. So that is definitely a suggestion I believe we all agree on that we should include in the park as that happens. I think that's all I have for that one. The other thing to mention, you're concerned about Maple being in the hollow. So if you see the big bushy area over here at the bottom corner, that's that hollow, the worst part of it. And it is not maintained. It is a wooded area. Sometimes homeless individuals will go back in there and camp. We have cleaned like 4 truckloads of trash out of there at different times. In addition to whatever property is behind there has definitely tossed some like cinder bricks and things down the hill, and it's clear it's
Like
clean.
huge, for a long time, that's.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't care for it.
So that is, in a few ways, the decay that happens within that and the smell of it that comes out at different times of the year, and it just not being upkept. That whole space is a good opportunity to clear out and put a path, even though it's on that hill. There could be a way to put a little walk path in there or something to open it up so that people aren't going back in there for inappropriate reasons.
Yeah.
And maybe the people that own the property on the other side will stop dumping their things down into it.
Could that be part of your fitness trail concept?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. There could definitely be some equipment, you know, even like all four corners of the park, one piece of this,
Yeah.
and.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause it looks like the fencing comes in
Mhm.
and stops there, and then there's nothing.
Yeah, but there is something, and where you say there's nothing, that's the company that's dumping stuff down the hill.
Oh, okay.
Or I don't know if it's a company or who it is, but
Right,
it's definitely a thing, it's obvious. So addressing that and making suggestions to just not leave it like all
Mhm.
pushed up the way it is.
Yeah, I don't. You don't know.
Yeah,
Mako Park's in a hollow, and it gets mold, and it's dark, and it's not out in bright light with kids, you know, like the other parks we have, they're all out.
Or what is
Kind of like
something
down
that-
in this hollow, like they're not, like they don't even exist, that drives me nuts.
Just trying to think of a way that you can utilize
Right,
that as
right.
a natural feature it already is.
Mhm.
the
Well,
natural part is good.
natural
the
being
main-
made
I'm not saying it's
unnatural.
ideal.
Yeah.
But to reshape it or something like that seems like a heavy lift.
There's
But
like
it's like
so many
no
dead
one
trees
sits
in
in there and. Needs to be a
Um,
You could do like a raised trail, like a platform like you see at a beach or something.
yeah, boardwalk or something.
Well, I've never seen this, thank you so much for bringing
You're
it.
welcome. It is on the borough website, again, it's hard enough, I'll try to get the link and send it to you guys, there's a whole lot spelled out. I believe there's others for each park, but this is the only one we got printed out because it's so
Thank
close
you.
to the grant that we have.
I appreciate it very much.
And then,
Maybe I should print out the Columbia one, and give it to you guys. Have one copy.
Any other follow-ups on any of the other parks?
With Maple, I don't think there's anything else, with River Park, do you guys have events and stuff coming up soon?
I actually want to report on Riverfest to you guys next meeting because it was just here at the end of the month and our
Okay.
meeting, I don't really have all the numbers together.
Yeah.
Coming up at River Park, right now we're still rolling through, we do our monthly tadpole time, which was just this week. River Ranger is happening every Thursday this month. That's a free program for kids about 8 to 12. It also happens on the other site, on the other side of the river on Tuesdays. We've been doing a lot of partner program with the library because of the heat, bringing a lot of their stuff inside when we can, so that's been great. Gosh, I think in August, I think we have River Ranger and stuff going into there too. And then really in August, we need to take a minute and refresh and have a look at our plans for the rest of the fall and finalize them. In September, the Paw Paw Festival is now being rebranded as the Wild and Uncommon Paw Paw Festival. The Horn Farm has put that on for quite a few years. They're unveiling a new model this year where it looks a little different and is spread out across sites. So the River Park and Columbia Crossing will be a part of that for the weekend. There's lots of other stuff, but a similar event in October is the Keystone Trails Hiking and Outdoor Weekend, and we'll be utilized for that. And I think that's the weekend of the 25th or so of October. And then obviously we get Owl Pitch Festival in October. That's not what we host, but that's a huge event going on. I do believe Parks and Rec could have a representation there if they wanted. Chris Vera, I think, does a lot of the planning for it, and a lot of his crew, Rick and them guys. We could certainly maybe provide a table and something fun and free to do for kids. It gets a good turnout, and it's a wildly good time with the alternative theme.
Never been to one of those.
And I believe again this year we have the Canoe Mobile 5th grade field trips going on that week, and the community day where anybody from the community can come down and get on the 10 foot canoes with the outdoor court is going to land on Owl Pitch Day again. We could try and do that when we can. But I can report more details on them in the next meeting. Yeah, there are some info on those.
It's all really beautiful.
That's awesome.
Rotary Park, we did do an adopt-a-block not long ago there, and it was not as bad as some other things we found, so it's better than before. Somebody else said that the porta pot was knocked over at one point, so Public Works had to come and put like some stakes in to hold it down.
Hmm.
And hopefully they won't push it over so easily. I didn't hear anything like that at Maples Park or anything.
Well, Maple doesn't have a porta potty.
They did.
They
In the
did?
parking lot.
Oh, really?
In the back of the parking lot.
I was up at Rotary and I took a picture of one because that's like a bigger unit and someone had started a fire in it.
Oh, boy.
In what?
In the
And you
porta
could
potty.
see they had a fire inside of it. And they burned down.
Jeez.
Took a picture of it.
Plastic thing.
I thought it's massive, right? Because it can be like putting your child in, it gets to bring a stroller or whatever and or ADA compliant, but I just kind of thought, yeah, and I bet they're not permanent, they started the whole fire.
So Lancaster just put one in,
I saw that.
it is stainless steel, yeah. Yes, so I'm in these groups, for housing and redevelopment and stuff like that, and it's been a topic for a few months before it even came in. And of course, the same concerns, vandalism and overdoses and things like that. So far, it's been going really well. It's stainless steel and there's a cleaning crew to come out and I guess maintain it, and it apparently also has like chemicals to clean itself somehow, like spraying it off. It's
Wow.
hard water, it's not, hard water, I don't know what the word is, hard plumbing,
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it's the plumbing from the city.
Yes, and it also has the blue lights in it. So the people who are addicted and IV users, they wouldn't be able to do those things because the lights kind of mess with their ability to do that. So it comes with some precautionary to help with curbing some of that. But I think that the parks would be, Maple kind of already has its plan, but Rotary might be an ideal location for another public bathroom that might be hardwired versus the porta pots that can be pushed over or whatnot. With these, there's different ways to go about it too. Some of the public bathrooms, you can have a local business in the area and they would go and register to get a card for it. And then every time they would go and scan their card, you know that individual and at that time, whoever's managing the system. So if some vandalism or something would get reported or happening, you could see who was registered to the card. The other thing is we used to have park supervisors. They'd be in the parks for a couple hours, at least through the summer. And they would have the key for the sheds. They didn't have necessarily the bathrooms, but if a bathroom came, it could be part of it. LEDA, Lancaster Employee Training Association. Anybody familiar with that name? I think that's the name of it. They trained and paid park supervisors for Columbia. That's part of what I grew up with. In Maple and Rotary, they would come and bring crafts and balls and whatever and be out there for a few hours and then clean it all up. Kids would help clean it up and then lock it up for that day. So the bathrooms could be only if the park supervisor was available. I don't know if LEDA is still doing that or offering that, but I have a feeling that if somebody would know it's gonna be Boys and Girls Club for the park supervisors. Back then, it came from county money instead of local, I believe. We may have to try to do the same thing, but it's training park supervisors and then literally having them in the parks throughout the summer for not necessarily a day camp, but that someone's there with equipment and
Structured activities for a
Exactly.
few hours.
Exactly. So yeah, that kind of went in a big circle, but Rotary Park public bathroom, I think, might be a good place to go with that since it already has a plan. If, does anybody have any thoughts about public bathrooms here or use like Rotary being an ideal location or any other location that might be ideal?
It doesn't seem bad, and I say that only because of the huge trail parking lot there. And there are a lot of people who use that just to visit the town. Short of that, I mean, I'd love to see Rotary built up, but I don't know what other park would make a good fit.
Driving up to it, seeing the chain link fence, 6 foot, 10 foot, 7 foot chain link fence, I was like, what's that? Atrocity.
That's for the basketball players.
I figured it had something so the balls don't roll down the hill, but when I played up there, I never had a
Well, and I
problem
was
with
thinking
it.
there was always a small chunk, just one little chunk on the other end.
No,
We used to
it's
roll
all
down the
bad.
hill at the
Yeah,
toll road.
it was like, I'm like, and then it's the porta potty right there in front of it, when you come right up on it. But there was a sliding board there when I was growing up.
Yeah, they're on bottom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, merry-go-round, yeah. But I did like a survey, kind of went around, so I knew, because I hadn't been to some of the parks in a long time, so I wanted to see.
None of them actually do.
No, they didn't.
No,
No, but Longs Park has a swing set, and it's like all, kind of like what's gonna happen at Maple a little bit, like it's all in place. And 'cause we took our grandchildren down there the other week, and it's really neat.
I think Falls Park is inspiring to look after, like, they have their bathrooms.
Yeah.
And their swings and their.
Who does?
Well, you said
Yeah, Longs
You said
Park, yeah.
Lancaster has, what you were talking about, the bathrooms, the stainless steel and like.
Yeah.
I
They
think,
just put one in.
They just put one in
And it was
downtown.
$200,000 to do it.
oh, wow.
But
But it sounds like it's like state of the art type
it
of,
is, it is.
like, and it's real, 200,000, wow.
I think some other cities are probably paying attention to Seahawk and South Florida.
Right,
Yeah,
they're looking for the reviews, they're looking for the reviews.
Yeah, it's not completely enclosed, there's vents all the way
The
up, so
bathroom,
you
the
can't
bottom, I
like
think it has,
enclose yourself in there. They
Right.
can see in it.
and it is handicapped
It's
accessible.
surprising how much thought has to go into something like that, because you don't want it to be vandalized. You want it to be appropriately used.
Right,
It's an interesting blend of technology in it to try and
yeah,
curb
we
the-
even need,
yeah,
Keeping it steel and.
Right, and clean, and,
a level of privacy, but also
Yeah.
not so much that you feel like you can.
Yeah.
get away with everything.
Right. yeah, just all the stuff you have to think about.
Town Square, we got our updates.
Yeah.
With Mary, McGinnis, there's not a whole lot going on there, but the rec idea, Sylvia, do you know who Sylvia is?
I've never met her.
She has the same dream, would it be okay if I put you guys? in?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Final comments from anybody else? Okay, our meeting was adjourned at, is it say
8:17.
We have a motion and a second.
A motion to adjourn.
Todd motion,
Second.
Ms. Coffin second.
You guys are so quick.
Motion.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I gotta go
No, it's
next.
okay. You wanna grab a shirt
I'll
from,
go for it.
you bring a shirt
Yeah,
in?
Yeah,
No?
okay, I'll
Okay.
get it.
Okay.
Probably doesn't have my size anyway.
I'm not sure, I don't remember what you ordered.
Oh,
Masturbating. When I wanna go back.
Yes,
I have to sign minutes.
All right, good meeting, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We have to listen to
It's been 2 months, I mean, it's really